Every agent can win in any market. You can make the highly unpredictable real estate industry incredibly predictable, but only if you stop guessing and start using swag. Swag is a step-by-step system that will turn your results upside down in a good way overnight. Come with me. Let me show you what swag exactly is. Swag stands for Simple Written Achievable Goals. And here's how it works. First, you start with having a very simple, easy to understand goal statement. How to get from X to Y by when and why. So for example, I want to go from selling 6 units a year to 26 units a year by 12/31/2026 because my family deserves options. That's a simple X to Y by when and why statement. That's the S in swag. The W is written because when we write it down, it becomes real. So you take that goal, you write it down, and you place it everywhere that you normally might have distraction. You place it on your bathroom mirror, place it on the dash of your car, definitely place it above your computer, place it all the different places that you might get otherwise distracted because it will recenter you. It will bring you back to the X to Y by when and why statement that you had. The third part, achievable. This is where the math really digs in. And this is where it goes from maybe to believable, and believable is achievable. I'll give you an example. So if I want to get to that closing a week, if my goal was to go from 12 houses a year to 50 units a year, because I wanted to make $300,000 a year, and my average close netted me $6,000. Let's say that that's my goal, and I want to do that. So I want to do a house a week, and how do I do it? Okay, cool. So I need to do 200 cold outreaches a week to get myself into 20 meaningful conversations. If I can get myself into 20 meaningful conversations, I can set 2 to 3 appointments. Of those 2 to 3 appointments, 1 to 2 will actually hold and show up. And then on average, I'll get 1 listing. And if I take 1 listing a week, I'll close 50 a year because the buy side, sell side combination, I'll get to my 50. So that's the math behind it. And when you think about it like that, it goes from way up here to totally believable. Maybe I'm gonna work 5 days a week. So if I do 5 days a week, I gotta do 40 cold outreaches a day. Gotta go out and knock 40 doors, make 40 phone calls, whatever best cold outreach reaches for you to get to that 200 a week so that I can get my 20 meaningful conversations, I can get my 5 appointments, I can get 2 to 3 to show, and if it's 2 to 3 to show, I can get 1 to hold and give me a listing. That's the math behind it. And finally, this is where it all comes together for you. That G for goal is for goal accountability. So you can have everything fully baked, but if you don't have accountability on the end, you are the easiest person in the world for you to call in sick on. You are the easiest person in the world for you to call in sick on. To not do your 40 for that day, and then it stacks up, and you miss 40 one week and 40 another week, and before you know it, that 50 closes is 26, and you're like, what happened? So how do you stay on task? Here's the best way to do it. First and foremost, you have to keep score very publicly. So somewhere in your office or your car, you've got to have a dashboard that tracks the behavioral things, those 40 outreaches and what is working out of those 40 outreaches for every single day. I also advise you to have somebody that you test at the end of every night that says, hey, I meant to get 40 and I actually got 42. I meant to get 40 and I got 38. I owe 2 tomorrow, whatever it may be. And then finally, you have to meet with a coach at least once a week and have that conversation. Bring your numbers and review your numbers. I'm going to give you a really quick example of how this all works right now. So this is where I got swag from. When I was 12 years old, I wanted a really expensive bike. I went to my grandma and I said, Grandma, I want this bike. She said, that's great. I love that you have a goal. You pay for half, I'll pay for half. We thought a little bit about what I could do. I decided I could wash cars. I went out and I started knocking doors. I knocked on a lot of doors. I very quickly learned, though, that about 1 out of every 10 doors that I knocked on actually got me to a yes. And a yes usually averaged about $5. So I learned that I needed about 90 closes or 900 doors knocked to get the bike, and I nailed it in 3 weeks' time. And each Friday, my grandma would sit down with me and she'd say, how are you doing? How are your goals going? How are you? Oh, so you're having to knock a few more doors, people getting to know that you're coming out. Then we need to adjust the cold outreach. But I nailed the goal. And then from there, that bike got stolen one day after I got it, so I needed to get a new bike. Got that one in 10 days, right? So I was able to do it a little bit quicker because I now knew how the swag formula worked. You can win in any market, but you've got to stop guessing to make this highly unpredictable industry incredibly predictable and win with swag. Go get it.